Alright guys and gals and fans and friends of Bob's Barn Workshop, we're back in the new big shop. Looks enormous in here, doesn't it? I love it. It's going to get small when I start moving cars and lifts in here. But just an update, you've seen that we did this wall and insulated it already. I need to put that little strip at the top of OSB. So today I want to start working on sheathing this wall. And we have that all insulated, as you can see. Me and the lovely wife did that a couple weeks ago. And if we get this sheathed, and then there's two jobs. I got to do the end wall around the doors and stuff, which is just piecing in. So I may put those pieces vertically. I'm not sure. But I need to stay back to the top of that. So if that's only 4 feet, I should be able to run a 4-foot piece right across between the top of the 12-inch beam, because see, I can't put the OSB down too far because that garage door has to kind of clear it as it comes down, and it will be a step. So I'm just going to go, if I come down to the bottom of those studs, I'll be perfect. And it should be less than 4 feet, so I should be able to put 4-foot pieces right across here. But I've been wanting the dang guy to come back and fix that spring, so maybe I can get it insulated. But I want to put, see, I've been wanting to put the OSB on there for the J-mold. And when I put my foam up on the top there, I want to let the foam lip over the edge there at the edge of the roof, and then put the J-mold up tight, because the J-mold's going to push in against it and up. And if I let that foam hang around, it'll act like a seal and help keep the air, because that's, you know, right there at the eave, it's to the outside. And that will be like a crack, so I want to make sure I try to patch that up as good as I can. Yeah, I know it's a workshop and everything. It's not going to be highly heated all the time, but might as well make it as efficient as I can. And I've got to do that strip up there where those rafters come out of the old roof. I'm trying to decide what I want to actually do there. I've been thinking about just stripping all that steel off, but that's a big job. Maybe I'll just strip off the first 2 layers just so I can get that sealed, because I want to have a good tight seal between where that taper comes down into the old barn roof. So we'll see how that works out. That may have to be just 4-foot pieces because it looks like it's wider than 2 feet, and if it's wider than 2 feet, I can't turn it sideways and cut it lengthways without wasting a bunch of sheets. But it might be just simpler that way too. Anyway, regardless, I'm just babbling. And I got to throw insulation behind that somehow. Fiberglass. I was thinking about just stretching some wires across the back just to hold the insulation, falling it out and stapling it in from the front and calling her good. Of course, the rodents and shit will get into it. I don't know. We did have signs of rodents in here, so you know, it's something you have to deal with. All right, well, I'm going to get the heater turned on, get this starting to warm up in here a little bit, and my best friend, my lifelong partner, the missus, will come out and help me start putting this sheeting up. Okay, one thing I think I'm going to do while the weather is halfway decent is I need to put that weather stripping around this door, which will keep a huge amount of air from blowing in. And so I'm just, you know, I'm going to show you all this. I'm going to cut these to length, put them on with the screw tip thingies, and call it good. Oh yeah, I got the flanged weather stripping all around the outside door too, to keep the infiltration of wind and rain out. So that's done. Keep it a little tighter. There's my ceiling still out here in the plastic wrap. Alright guys and gals, we are done with the west wall too. And I actually put my 5 1/4 inch spacer up there so we're flush. I just wanted that for my J-mold to fit correctly. So I've got to do it across the top here. And on this wall, that gap between the top, I might have showed this before, the top sill there and the top of the door frame is less than 4 feet. So 4 feet sheets will go right across here in one piece tight to the ceiling, so I won't have much fitting to do with that 6-inch. But then when I get over here, they're just going to be pieces, which I got lots of OSB left. I need 3 or 4 for up here along the thing, and that's it. So we're coming along really well. I can feel a really cold draft coming down from the attic barn because that's got a 2-inch gap. I'm trying to decide what the best thing to do up in that eave is. I'm going to stuff it with fiberglass, I guess. That's about all I can do. Be better to put wood in there and nail it in tight. And maybe I should do that. Maybe I'll cut 2x4s and butt them up in there and nail them up in tight. That'll stop the draft. And put some insulation too, I don't know. All right, guys. I've got another Christmas concert for my granddaughter tonight. She's in 7th grade, so we've got to go to that. And so things are what they are. We will be back with more construction. You're going to really want to see this ceiling go up. All right, friends and fans, we are back in the barn. Now, what I did yesterday, and it was a lot of work, is that's where those stem supports for the rafters were stubbed up through the ceiling, through the old roof. You can kind of see the little pink squares where they had cut the holes, and I stuffed them full of fiberglass. What I did is, it worked out well. To put on the back side, I cut the OSB 18 inches, and for the front side I cut it 24. Well, 24 was perfect. It's a whole sheet cut in half, and it was just exactly the right width. So that was the charm. They're only 2x4s, but I did stuff the 6-inch insulation inside there before I put the outer OSB on. And I wanted to do that to compress it somewhat to keep the air gap tightened up so the air doesn't flow through it as easily and cause drafts. So that's insulated. I've got this part done up here, so to get the ceiling up, which I'd like to start Friday afternoon, I need to get at least the plywood up to the top here, across that, and insulated, and that filler strip put in up there. Now we can put the filler strip in as we're putting the ceiling up, I guess, so that isn't really important as so much. But here's the problem. I've got about 12'5" in here. So I need to know exactly how wide to cut that filler strip. But now see here over the door, I don't need a filler strip. So, but here I do. If I put a full sheet of plywood up here, or sheet of the stuff, I'm going to split it right on this seam where that joint is, because I think they need to move that spring plate up, because I showed you before that that spring and rod is sagging. So I guess I'm just going to work on insulating this first, and I can do it in pieces. I just wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. You know, you've seen insulation before. I'm just going to cut it to length and staple it in the bays. Now when you do new insulation, you'll notice that the insulation has like this paper that unfolds. Now, I've seen many people push the insulation in and staple it. These ears. That's wrong. That compresses the insulation. What you do is you lap this over the front of your 2x4 and staple it, and then the other piece lays over the top of it when you staple it, and that creates your one-piece vapor barrier. I know a lot of guys push it down inside so you can see the studs easy, and that's just done by the contractors who want to save some time working and make more money. They're not really concerned about your R factors of your walls once it's covered up. So, that being said, I guess I will start insulating this. I could do just the top, as I said. All I really need to get up is the top, so that I can I have that, you can see it sitting up there. There's a piece of J mold for the steel ceiling. That has to go around the complete perimeter, nailed up in there. So we're going to have to do that, and that's why we need that spacer in over here. It doesn't absolutely have to be in there, but I want it in there, okay? All right. So I'm going to do some of this insulation. I've got all my insulation in for the ceiling. This is R30, which is 10-inch thick, 2 foot wide by 4 foot long batting. And the beauty of it is my my foam Mylar silver vapor barrier our reflective tape foam here that's going to go up first. I should be able to just drop those bats right on top of it. They're only a couple of pounds a piece. I don't think they'll make it fall down. I think we can get it all stapled up, put all the insulation in, and then put the strips of steel up. And of course it's going to be a pain in the ass because we got braces to go around here for the door, hanging down here. I got 6 ceiling boxes to go in. Once we get past that thing there, I mean, really that's the only hard part, getting that bracket. And the ceiling boxes, I didn't put them in yet because I want them to lay, you know how steel is, you can see it up there. There's flats in between, and I want a box to end up in the flats. So I'm going to have to measure a little bit. Won't have to be too careful because there is a lot of latitude. I think that's about 8 inches wide. So, yeah, all right. Well, enough talking. I'll get this done. So I got the salamander on. You can hear that running. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure. I need like 11 pieces to fill in this area. Now, if you see that wire wadded up in the joist space there, I'm going to cover that up for now. But I know it's right over the center hinge of this door. And that's up there, so if I ever decide to put an outlet, I've got a floodlight here, and that's the wire that feeds through with the switches for the porch, the outside carriage lights, and the power feed. So I could switch them with the porch lights, or I wanted a separate switch. So I've got a switch plate here that I put in another switch box over by the door here. So you pretty much want to make this 43 inches. I need 11 pieces, so I'm just going to lay out the fiberglass on the floor and roll it out against the wall. And cut it. So all I'm doing to cut this is I measured from the end of the last cut, my 43 inches on this piece right here. Stand on it, compress it, take your sharp knife, I give it twice, done. Okay, I'll show you what I'm doing. First, I peel back a little bit of the paper. I got the stapler already laying up there. Peel this guy back. Tuck it in. All right, that's all there is to that. All right, so I have all the insulation up there and down the corner by where the ladder is. I need to finish insulating this wall, because my goal is here is I really need to get the sheathing on the wall so I can put my J-molds up, which is gonna do my my steel roof going up, hopefully starting Friday. So we should be able to get the heat in here tightened up pretty soon. So cross your fingers and cross your toes, and hopefully I got to cut some more insulation and some weird shapes here. I got to fill in this little hole in the back here, this triangle. And I think what I'm going to do is here I'm going to start on the bottom. So I think I'm going to put a full sheet over here, because you can see where there's a cutoff there at 8 foot anyway. Put that sheet in, and then I'm just going to have to cut narrow sheets to go up to the top here, and another full sheet to go up there. So I'll have 1, 2, 3 in a patch. All right, that's all I'm going to do, but I got to insulate it. All right, guys. I know you want to get bored with all this stuff. I got all the big cracks stuffed with just loose fiberglass too. You get lots of scraps when you're trimming it.